Look at this. So they got the camper line up here. When these things are going to be available. So we're at let's see, not quite yet.
Now the good news is we're going to be able to scrub this, and there's supposed to be a surprise coming. They do talk about off-roading and boondocking. That's it. Let's just see if we can kind of catch up here. Let me share the content. And let's just roll through this.
Okay.
See what we can find to crack wise on.
We build more RVs on the Sprinter chassis than anyone else in the
here
world.
you go, Jay.
Yeah.
Or take the Travato, the best-selling camper van on the market.
Isn't
or
that
a
a hotel
4x4
search?
Revel
Oh, no,
that
that's
helps you get
Travago.
further off the road and off the
See,
grid.
there's a 4x4.
So
On the towables front, Winnebago pioneered alloy trailer manufacturing in 1958 and then brought modernistic industries here to Iowa. We now offer an impressive lineup of fifth wheels and travel trailers, including the award-winning Hike, designed specifically for those who like to go way out, yet live large and bring a lot of gear. And today we're introducing 2 new models on the motorhome side that are definitely game changers, one of which may start a whole new class of its own. We've also pioneered innovative and spacious floor plans and mastered the art of getting the most out of every square inch of space in each RV we build. And with the launch of Winnebago Design Studio, we're bringing a fresh new approach to RV styling that is clean and transitional. This puts more control back in your hands by giving you a clean canvas to add personal touches. We have led the industry in vehicle safety technology, including some exclusive advances you'll see today on our Mini Winnie, Spirit, and Class A gas models. All Winnebago RVs, old and new, are designed to deliver the highest quality in the industry. Our in-house component design and manufacturing capabilities allow us to build in many Winnebago proprietary features and systems. This includes our unique superstructure framework, thermal panel wall construction, and immersive e-coating corrosion protection on our motorhome line. Our towables feature the W-Series foundation for the Voyage fifth wheel and a patented exoskeleton structure on the Hike travel trailer.
See it on the outside.
We also build our
Yeah.
trailers using latest technologies in our brand new state-of-the-art lamination facility. The result is our industry-leading sidewall construction. Our exhaustive testing procedures ensure performance in all aspects of the RV experience. From extreme weather to sound and safety testing,
All right, let's see what we got going on here. This is a lot of
and detailed plumbing and wiring.
Thank
you for being here.
Self-promotion.
And when things get back to normal, we can't wait to connect with you here at our visitor center, out at our Winnebago rally grounds, or on one of our factory tours. Now let's go back to Jim, who will show us what's new on the road ahead.
All right, here we go, guys. Something new and fresh, we hope.
Thank you, Brian. There's no doubt Winnebago has a long legacy in the RV world, and they're more focused on the road ahead than ever before.
This would be
So
more
let's get
interesting with
started.
John Bronco.
We're going to be looking at the newest Winnebago RVs today, but there are many more. You can see them all at Winnebago.com. But now, to introduce the first of these new Winnebago products, let's bring out John Bonzak, the product director for Winnebago Class A motorhomes.
All right.
Hey, John, how are you?
Jim, I'm doing very well. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks so much for being here. Talk about the Class A motorhome.
A Class A is probably what most people picture when you say the word motorhome. A Class A coach integrates the cab with the living area, so there's no separate cab to speak of. It typically offers more room than a camper van or a Class C model, and it has what we call zoned living, where there's separate areas for entertaining, dining, meal preparation, sleeping, and so forth. It also is available both in front and rear engine or pusher configurations with gas or diesel engines.
Let's see what's new then on the Class A front.
Okay, we're going to start with the new Vista 29V, an entry-level motorhome specifically designed for families who love to travel and
I've seen this. It's not new this year, but it is a new concept for them. It's really sharp inside.
So is it more of a home rather than...
Yep, they're putting the V8s in them. So it's just more modern on the inside. Like your lighting is, they'll do things like instead of putting those little dome lights up there, they'll put track lighting in the ceiling. They really tried to make it current in terms of kind of style.
And notice they mentioned the 7.3 liter.
Yeah, that's all you get in the
V8.
gas side now is the V8.
Those push
no
rod.
more V10.
Yep. Low end torque, man.
Yeah. So these ambassadors, these are people that are basically their brand sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
They're people that, it's like GoPro sponsors race car drivers,
Sure.
right? Well, these are people that are oftentimes YouTube influencers, or whatever, they're vloggers. And this case, Winnebago has a contract with them. They're paying them.
That's great.
I remember a few years back, Joe, what was his name? The former manager of the Chicago Cubs had a contract with Winnebago, and he would travel in that thing with his family during the baseball season.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they're just showing us more kind of design and build details here.
It was also at the factory tour that we discovered that Winnebago builds most of their own components in-house. Take the freshwater tanks for an example. Because Winnebago designs and forms these tanks in-house to be a custom fit, they are able to be as large as possible.
That may be true, but I wouldn't say most. The water heaters typically are Dometic. Refrigerators are not designed by Winnebago. Toilets are not designed by Winnebago. Air conditioners on the roof are not designed by Winnebago. Furnaces are not designed by Winnebago. I mean, do I need to keep going?
No, I mean, obviously there are manufacturers out there that are better at what they do than Winnebago.
Yep.
What Winnebago does, they do a great job of marketing their product, and they're good at assembly. And we've got some questionable assembly problems.
This is the Apple. We're faster than 98% of all the laptops out
exactly.
there. Exactly.
Yeah. So
they do. I mean, look, it is advantageous if they're building their own holding tanks like you showed us.
Well, yeah.
That's actually a really good thing because they can custom build them to the code.
Absolutely, and they can test them right there in-house. So they have all that. It's kind of inclusive for them, and it probably saves them a ton of money on the build rather than having to farm it out, because then you're forced to kind of be only going to make so many certain sizes and patterns,
right.
And you're kind of forced to be that one thing. This way it gives them a lot more flexibility to customize something for someone. So
True comfort sofa sleeper and the optional theater seating. The Forza is an elegant RV, simple and sophisticated, creating a soothing, comfortable,
Forza's another
and
other Class A
practical
line.
interior
Yeah.
with Corian galley countertops, sink covers, flip-up extensions, and a fireplace, optional with a hidden latch revealing more storage.
A couple of our Winnebago ambassadors, Heath and Alyssa Paget, have been putting their Forza through the paces for the last year with their 16-month-old Ellie. Let's connect with them to hear about their experience.
Internet connectivity. If we didn't have this built into our rig, so we could connect to our family's Wi-Fi and keep running our business from the road.
Next, we're going to show you the crown jewel of the 38D.
All right, so I'm going to jump on that for just a second because that's a big deal to me, especially now.
Wi-Fi?
In COVID. We can go anywhere really in the country and work. Mm-hmm. Everybody's remote. A lot of schools are remote. But some of the most beautiful places that you want to go to that they're showing you in these videos are out. You're boondocking, and you're relying on cellular network coverage to have internet connectivity.
Right. Which this should improve, though, right, Keith? With with what's going on with the 5G, with the Starlink, what they're doing, putting all these
that Starlink stuff and the satellite stuff will improve it because it's blanket coverage. There are no gaps.
Right.
From a cellular perspective, there's still only so much distance you're going to get from a radio signal off a tower.
Right.
And that's really been the challenge for us is getting a spot that you can have the best of both worlds, right?
Shoot, man, if I am AT&T or Verizon or any of these guys, man, I'm putting towers in the middle of these places if I can.
Well, some of it's regulatory and you can't, but state parks, national parks, they may not allow that. Some of these national parks are massive, like Yellowstone and Big Bend in Texas. So really, now what she's talking about there is, again, it's a component that Winnebago does not make. They're just going out and they're buying a Netgear, right, and they're including it, or a Winegard on the RV brand side, but there's really no advantage to buying one that it already comes with. In fact, it might be a disadvantage because how old is that thing? Is it 5G or is it older LTE?
Right. So basically, that's one of those things where when I said earlier on, you think about these things before you buy it. You don't necessarily have to buy what it comes with. You can. Yeah.
Now you could argue, well, they're putting it up on the roof and you get a little bit better coverage. Yeah. Okay. But you can change out the TV antenna on your existing RV and use that same hole. And they make them now that have a cellular capability built into the TV, so it's all the same sort of receiver up on the roof.
Gotcha. Yeah. Interesting.
All right, let's see what else they got going on here.
All right.
Built an intentional desk space in the RV, as my friend Ryan Roski likes to call it, his puzzle station. Most people use computers.
Yeah, I got one of those too. It's called a garage.
As you can see here, this is a 6 foot long desk, and it's broken up by a pretty good amount of little cabinetry right here that we use to store about 20 hard drives and a lot of different things. Alyssa and I both run our business on the road, as she mentioned, and so her side of the desk is over here, mine is over here, and it's plenty big enough to have 2 different monitors. I have my podcast set up over here, and then there's just a lot of thoughtful touches over here, like this little wiring mesh. And honestly, being on the road this year, staying in places longer due to COVID, has been incredible to have this desk. There's even a little place underneath where our 1-year-old daughter can store her toys and play around while we're getting some work done. And then when you're parked in a pretty place like we are in Colorado, you can have views of the river right out of your window while you're getting some work done. The best of both worlds.
Wow, it sounds really familiar, Jay.
Yeah, it does.
All right, what else we got here? This looks interesting. Let's see what we're going to talk about next.
Ventures, you can follow them on Heath and Alyssa on Instagram.
We'll check those guys
but now,
out.
John, is the moment Class A RVers have been waiting for, the reveal of the all-new ride you have to share with us.
That's right, Jim. The all-new 2021 Journey. Now let's take a look.
Well, it's a Class A if it's that guy. Yeah.
That thing is huge.
High-mounted mirrors. Yeah.
This has got to be a diesel pusher, man.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on a sec. Let's just right here. Okay, they're throwing eye candy at us. I gotta jump on this. Okay, look at that awning, man.
Yeah.
So understand, Jay, that you're looking at a slide out here,
right?
On my rig, by comparison, I have 2 awnings on this side. They do not go over the top of the slide out. Now, my slide out has an awning, like a little roller awning on top.
Right.
But the reason that is a big deal is because you don't have to have 2 separate small awnings. You can get one big long awning that covers the whole thing coming up from the very top, and you don't have to play this game of, well, where do I position the slide outs and then where do I position the awnings? It doesn't matter. So that's really cool.
Do you think that those are manual release or electronic?
Oh, that's all electric.
Okay.
All of it.
Gotcha.
I have a smaller version of what this is right here on the back door of mine.
Yeah. They've really gotten a lot better with how they deploy these things, the gearing and the cross members of these things, how they fold up into tight spaces. It's pretty amazing. You see a lot of this technology now being used even at the restaurant levels. Where more and more outdoor seating because it's compact.
You just push a button.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
There was something else. Oh, okay, here. So, dishwasher on the bottom there.
Yeah, I see that.
I just don't care about that in an RV. It just wastes water and fills up your holding tank. But, all right. Convection induction cooktop. So this is all electric, so no gas appliances, okay?
I don't mind that.
This is, yeah, I like it because you can do everything off of one fuel source.
That's
Your
it.
generator will run it all.
Solar panels. Hello.
Yeah. Microwave and convection oven there at the top. And then your induction cooktop, little flip out thing here. What else we got? Fold down tables. Notice they're using actual chairs instead of the old like booth dinette kind of thing.
Right. I wonder how you stow those. I mean, how
you just leave them sit there. They'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
God. Those things, something this expensive, it has a nice suspension system.
Oh, I'm sure it does. And
now
look at the size of that master back there.
Yeah. Yeah. Look over here to the right. See the right corner here?
Yeah.
You see that little electrical outlet with USB ports in it? See how it's sitting at an angle?
Yes.
That's a pop-up. It sits flush on the surface, I'll bet you. That's clever.
Yeah, so it pops up whenever you want to plug in, and then
you just push it down and it hides.
That's great.
And I have never seen an RV with this modern of cabinetry and drawers. Look, this is like old school wood.
Yeah, it's
This isn't that cheap veneer, kind of.
Well, it
looks like from the 90s.
They've come a long way with interior products that are prefab. They have to, quality wise. They've come a long way with synthetics as well. And I think that they're taking away from some of the improvements that they've made in, mobile homes or manufactured homes is what they like to call them now. And there are some really, really nice, affordable manufactured homes out there that come with a lot of really nice bells and whistles. And this is what they're obviously doing. They're putting into this. It's just, it is a manufactured home on wheels, man. That's awesome.
Yep. I'll turn the volume down a little bit so we can talk over it.
Let me, one other thing, the price on this thing is probably in the, what would you say, maybe 3
to 5, 300,000 to 500,000.
Right. So now put that in perspective, people. A new home these days are going to be 300,000 to 500,000. Okay, and you might ask yourself, why in the world would you spend that kind of money on it, when you've got a home? Well, some folks, when they retire, or even if they're not retired, let's say they have their own businesses, why not go see the country and go park?
It's because it's the view. It's all about the wide open spaces.
It is, man, and that's it. So the justification is, you got a trade-off, but I think the trade-off is better when you can go out on the road and go enjoy life, man, rather than being stuck in a box, with a P.O. box,
Yeah.
So.
All right, Freightliner diesel.
Yep.
So that's going to be a pusher. By the way, had a conversation with a guy that drives for FedEx. We were camping over the weekend. We were trail riding.
Yes.
And he had a Thor Class C. Mm-hmm. And he was asking me, it was on the Ford chassis, but it was a smaller Ford chassis.
Right.
And we were just talking, and he said, he talked about what he had before, and I talked about what I had before, and he said FedEx uses those Freightliners in a lot of their trucks, and he said, man, they're always in the shop. Now,
well, it depends.
He was just talking that he had a preference to the Ford gas side.
Who, this guy did?
No, the FedEx driver.
I see.
Sitting next to him.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up. Freightliner is not necessarily the manufacturer. They are not the manufacturer of the engine. They use other manufacturers like you might have Cummins, Caterpillar, Detroit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find what that may be. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So
that one has 2 smaller slides.
Right. So, for example...
they're going to... Look at this. Here, let's volume this up just a second.
Cummins 6.7-liter ISB.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a stunning coach. It turned out great. When we started this project, we really needed to start from the ground up. So it started with the Freightliner XCM chassis, but then we created a new Maxim to foundation to coincide with that chassis. We stiffened it up so we can have a more comfortable, confident drive,
That's
but
driving
also
across
a quiet
the Great Lakes
drive.
right there.
And while we were doing that, we also created storage that's best in class. It's 31 inches unobstructed.
Ah, look at that.
And it has flat floor throughout all the floor plans.
Speaking of floor plans, what size does this come in?
Well, we have a 34-foot, a 36-foot, and a 40-footer. They're unique floor plans, but they're all on this same platform, same chassis.
Now, I also understand that there is an app called Winnebago Connect with this?
Correct. We're coming out with an industry-leading, taking the bar up a whole notch in terms of how you control your coach. We've studied user experience, user interface to make an intuitive connection with your coach on the control panel, on the wall in the coach, but also with your mobile device, I can do anything I want.
I've had that in my 2018 Outlaws. Got that same interface.
By the way, just looking at what Freightliner's using in some of these things, I'm gonna assume that it's the 6.7 liter Cummins ISB, which is the new diesel, one of the later model.
I think part of the problems they're having with these is due to the regulatory. They're just so restricted that they can't get the horsepower out of them that they used to.
Yeah, well, with all the emission controls on these things, that's absolutely correct.
And I think that's why guys go toward the gas. Now, Jay, one thing that nobody, I'll mention because I have one. On the gasoline side, usually the engines are up front. Right. And they're under what they call the doghouse.
Right.
And it's very noisy.
Mm-hmm.
On the diesel pusher side, everything's in the back.
Yeah.
And it is a much more quiet ride in terms of, the drive.
Sure. Well, those are air ride anyway, too, though, right?
That is right. You have to go usually to the diesel, which are typically more expensive, to get the air ride.
Right. God, look at the counter. That's just incredible, man.
Now that slide is out. Just so you know, that's slide out space right there.
I got to tell you, if I'm going to retire and do this right, this is what I would get right here.
There's your pop-up. Charging station. This one has the fireplace model.
Yeah.
Now this does not look to have the sleeper bunk above the driver's area,
right?
Which, to me, and I understand it makes the coach look bigger in this picture.
Sure.
That's wasted space.
Interesting.
You've got the opportunity here to add a bed because there's no cabinets up there.
Right.
There's no it's just open air.
Yeah,
like, why would you waste that much space when, even if you don't use it except for just occasionally, have something up there. Put a bed up there, whatever.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, because you could in some way have some sort of mechanism that you could push it up if you wanted that headspace up there, and then pop it to where it drops down. Yeah. So they could have put it in there. I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, here's something else that's a design choice that I don't care for.
Mm-hmm.
And on this journey, I noticed this when they were showing the side pictures of it. The entry and exit door is in front of the passenger seat. So this lounger chair right here spins around to face the front, the windshield.
Yeah.
And I prefer the door to be behind the passenger up there. And the reason for that is because there are times when in our coach, am at an intersection and it's not a perfect T. So the intersection might be a 45.
Gotcha.
I can't look. I have to literally put the thing in park if I were in this coach.
Right.
Get up, walk over to the window, and look out behind me.
Yeah.
At a 45.
Gotcha.
If you have a passenger over there, you can say, hey, look out the window. Do you see any traffic out that way?
Right. Hey, folks, before we get any further here, let me say real quick, if you're enjoying this right now, why don't you go to partscounterguru.com, check us out, and go to the podcast tab for podcast links. You can find us on every major platform out there. Also, we'll probably this will be a video segment as well. If you want to check this out, go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/partscountergurus. While you're there, click that subscribe button. Give us a like and hit the bell for notifications. All those subscriptions help out. So thanks so much.
very hard to change that. So I'd like to introduce you to Kim Mann. She's the Senior Manager of Interior Design. Kim?
Hi, Jim.
How are you? So nice to see you.
Good to see you as well.
I can't tell you how excited I am, Kim, to get inside this new journey.
I'm so excited to show you. I've got her ready to go if you want to step inside and check it out.
You've done right.
All right, so I'm going to...
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
This is not your grandma's motorhome, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. It's like somebody's home.
That's exactly the idea. I'm so glad you said that. When I was looking at motorhomes and the motorhome industry from a design aspect, I really didn't get it. I said, why aren't they doing things more residential? The entire country watches the do-it-yourself cable TV shows, and why not apply it to the motorhome? A Winnebago Design Studio really works together with all departments. So Matt Clements, who's the exterior designer, and I worked on this overhead cabinet area, and that's completely different from what you see in a normal RV.
So they do have some storage
really
up
nice
there, it looks
dome
like.
effect ceiling there.
Yeah.
And if we, of course, have our fireplace here, which is a really nice touch.
Does it throw off a little heat when you need it to? Yeah.
It really does, so it kind of keeps it warm. All of the cabinetry, you'll notice, there's a lot of effort putting into the craftsmanship.
Yeah, they did a good job with that.
They did. I agree with you, man. That's fantastic. You know, hey, if you got a
Tucking
budget
that
of
window.
$300,000 to
And I mean,
$500,000, man, there's your
Winnebago is
there's
about
your
the
girl.
outdoor lifestyle.
Right.
And this is what makes it great. This is what we call a dining glide.
You guys haven't
and
already noticed, Keith has a little ADD.
You can sit here and use it as a workstation.
Oh, well, who wants to
turn
just
the
sit here and,
chairs
dinner
have
for
it
two?
be-
Yeah.
a dinette. And if you have somebody else come over, you flip this up and you've got an even bigger table.
Awesome.
Again, residential lighting.
Beautiful.
Residential refrigerator must have.
Big
and
fan
then
of
check
that.
out
Yep.
this
Yes,
bathroom.
indeed.
It's got a huge rain head
there you
plus
go.
a handheld wand. Again, solid surface, under mount Corian sink. So you don't get any of that like gunk, around the edges.
Love it. Easy to clean. That's
it's a big deal,
That's
man.
important. You know, a lot of people need to understand that cleaning is a big deal. I clean. Everybody should, but it's a bigger pet peeve with my wife. And if she's going to pay attention to some of those finer details, and that's pretty important. Even in like our house here, our kitchen, we have an undermount like that, and it's fantastic because then you can just wipe stuff into the sink, and you don't have to worry about.
The more time you have to spend cleaning these things, the less time but you got to do it on a rate.
Sure you do.
Yeah. So you minimize that, right?
That's it.
All right, so what do we got here? We're talking about the build process. Okay, they're putting the slides in.
Yep. So the Journey is their new big guy.
Diesel pusher. It goes up to 40. Yeah. It's not their top of the line.
No.
It's just the new model
for that class. Yes.